March 1941. That's a long way. But just the same, I remember as a kid who loved so much about airplanes, you know how it is, with crazy about airplanes, went down to Nielsen Airport and watched airplanes go by, take off, land, and especially one which is a C-40. I think it's color red, something like that. Belongs to Philippine Airlines. And every time I see it go up and down, I get so excited.
1941, I was just like any typical teenager. I was concentrated in my schooling, and being an athlete, I was enjoying life very well.
Life was much more leisurely. It was one of the best years of my life.
A beautiful life. A beautiful life we had then. Beautiful country too. Everything's safe, everybody loves everybody.
Ticket, please. You're welcome, sir. Have a nice flight.
Okay, final load. 313, first class.
Okay, cabin doors closed.
Start 4.
Philippine 100 is clear to taxi to holding point runway 06.
Manila Tower, Philippine 100 is ready for departure.
Philippine Airlines' first plane took off from Nielsen Airport in Makati for Baguio on March 15, 1941. One of the passengers was a young man, a sound engineer named William Smith.
Trying to wait for my turn in flying the Piper Cub to train. Then somebody, Pee-wee, the one in charge of the Philippine Airlines ticket counter, asked me if I'd like to take the first flight to Baguio. So if you still have ticket number 1, all right, put me in for round-trip ticket, I said.
I believe in the Filipino spirit. Give it wings and let it soar above. Give it hope and let it fly beyond himself into his dream.
Less than 9 months later, World War II broke out, and Philippine Airlines planes were pressed into military service. In 1946, it resumed operations with the purchase of 5 Douglas DC-3s.
The DC-3 did not have the sophisticated cockpit instrumentation and comforts of today's aircraft. But after the war, it was the most convenient, most economical, and the most efficient aircraft to have for Philippine airline domestic operations. Personally, I think the DC-3 is the best and safest airplane to fly.
Not soon afterwards, Philippine Airlines earned the distinction as the first Asian airline to cross the Pacific.
It took us about 56 hours because we had to go to Guam, Kwajalein, Honolulu before reaching San Francisco. But upon landing in San Francisco, when I went down those steps, I turned around, looked at the Philippine Airlines plane, and there was the Philippine flag. And I felt so proud to be a Filipino.
I believe this nation and its people on wings of purpose or above, on wings of change to fly beyond the dreams above themselves.
Philippine Airlines international flights were suspended in 1954 by the government as an economy measure.
I remember having mixed feelings about this. I felt that it was not the right time because PAL then carried 80% of the load factor in and out of Manila. On the other hand, the suspension of the international flights meant that the airline had to let go of its foreign pilots. This gave Filipinos the opportunity to take their places and fly the planes on domestic routes.
The Filipino Spirit shining through on wings of change and of hope. The Filipino Spirit shining through on wings of hope and dreams.
But within 8 years' time, Philippine Airlines was again proudly flying the flag abroad.
When international flights were resumed, there were only 4 Filipino captains qualified to fly the DC-8s. As one of these pilots, I felt very happy and proud at the opportunity to again fly our flag carrier overseas.
In 1966, Philippine Airlines introduced full jet service to its domestic operations with a BAC-111.
The BAC-111s, you're talking about my specialty. The 111s has been the longest pure jet aircraft I've worked on. As a matter of fact, I have a sentimental attachment to the aircraft because I helped ferry the most number of BAC-111 from England to Manila.
Philippine Airlines acquired the DC-10s, it meant that PAL was keeping up with the world's best. The DC-10 was the second generation jet. It's wide-bodied, it had a lot of automatic features. Except for the takeoff, it could fly by itself, navigate by itself, and land by itself. I was amongst the first Philippine Airlines pilots to fly the Boeing 747 in 1980. We ferried the first aircraft from the Boeing factory in Seattle to the Philippines. Our training was very advanced by the extensive use of flight simulators. As you know, the Boeing 747 is considered the ultimate aircraft that a commercial pilot can fly because of its size, its carrying capacity, and long range.
With the country's economic resurgence in 1986, Philippine Airlines began its domestic fleet modernization program, starting with the SD-360s called the Sunriser, followed by the Fokker 50s and Boeing 737s. These new planes have enabled Philippine Airlines to serve the country's growing needs for faster, efficient air transport, giving wings to a people's hopes and dreams for a better life.
May we request that
Cebu, just one of the 44 domestic destinations that Philippine Airlines flies to. serving the most extensive domestic network in Asia, making 190 departures in 20 hours every day. The first flight leaves before dawn, and the last flight is completed close to midnight. In between them, more than 12,000 people and over 180 tons of cargo are delivered to their destinations. 6 out of 10 of its passengers travel on business or government missions, stimulating the growth of commerce and bringing the government closer to the people. The rest of Philippine Airlines passengers include tourists, students, and ordinary folks for whom time and comfort are essential. Equally vital are the loads of cargo delivered by each flight. The airline transports 30 tons of newspapers and 3 tons of mail daily, bringing the news, the latest stock market reports, and basketball scores to thousands of breakfast tables all over the country. Letters from distant friends and relatives, and important documents to businessmen and administrators. The airline flies raw materials to manufacturers, spare parts, and equipment to factories, items for export, tapes to radio and TV stations, even the old chicks. From the farms and seas of distant islands, Philippine Airlines rushes vegetables, fruits, meat, and seafoods to marketplaces in Manila and other cities. Out of the airline's 44 domestic destinations, over half are missionary routes, where loads are not profitable, but air service is essential. In isolated communities, Philippine Airlines remains a crucial link for transportation, commerce, and communication. Where necessary, the airline races against time for mercy missions. All these affect the lives of Filipinos everywhere. In fact, most of the people it serves don't even fly. Philippine Airlines bridges our nation to the world. Its international route system extends from Manila to as far as San Francisco and London, reaching cities in Asia, America, Europe, the Middle East, and Australia, and linking Cebu to the world with an international fleet complement of Boeing 747s, Airbus A300s, and McDonnell Douglas DC-10s. With operations that span islands and continents, Philippine Airlines is continuously at work, 24 hours a day, every day of the week. Since 1946, Philippine Airlines has flown over 90 million passengers. Every 7 minutes, a Philippine Airlines plane lands or takes off somewhere in the world, carrying Filipinos to distant jobs, business, and pleasure, or bringing them home. Not only is Philippine Airlines the choice of Filipinos on their travels abroad, but also foreigners who prefer to fly on lines over their own national carriers. In fact, Philippine Airlines has become the biggest direct contributor to tourism, earning for the country much-needed foreign exchange. Philippine Airlines cargo network spans thousands of miles, carrying more than 200 tons of cargo each day, bringing the best of the Philippines to the world and the best of the world to us. To manage the movement of such a large volume of cargo every day, the airline employs the Cargo Network Automated System, or Cargonauts, which facilitates freight reservations, cargo tracking operations, and serves as its link to shipping offices around the world. Philippine Airlines' best assets are its people. Over 11,000 men and women at work on the ground and in the air, carrying out functions at major airports and at small outlying stations. People skilled at a multitude of jobs. Specialists who continue to train throughout their careers. Professionals, supported by modern facilities, equipment, and technology.
As pilots, we were always trained to be very knowledgeable with aircraft we were flying, and to be cool and collected when an emergency situation arises. The safety and comfort of passengers was always of paramount concern.
Standing by for your signal.
More than 650 flight deck crews serve on Philippine Airlines, and they are rated among the world's best. Their flight experience adds up to a total of over 5.5 million flying hours. That's the equivalent of more than 628 years of flying time.
The safety of passengers is the foremost concern of any pilot. It is towards this goal that he undergoes long and extensive training.
Most of these pilots earn their wings in the Philippine Airlines Aviation School, which was established in 1964. The Aviation School has also trained pilots for other airlines such as Singapore Airlines, Malaysian Airlines, Murak Indonesia, and Air Lanka, as well as other general aviation operators and the Philippine Air Force. As of May 1990, the school has graduated a total of 823 pilots since it opened. Before they can earn their wings, pilot trainees must log 437 hours of ground school. Students must also undergo hours of intensive training on instrument flying. In-flight simulators which can recreate every conceivable flying condition for them to study and master. As well as over 200 hours flying time in primary and advanced trainer aircraft. Only after rigid instruction and examination do these student pilots earn their wings. Graduates of the aviation school go on to more training to qualify as regular first officers in the airline's turboprops.
At each point in our careers, when moving from first officer to captain or from one aircraft type to another, we have to take further flight cleaning and flight checks regularly. We also have to take physical examinations every 6 months whenever we renew our licenses. So staying healthy is essential to our jobs.
Each time new aircraft are acquired, administrative pilots are sent to the manufacturer's own school to train as instructors. Even the veteran captains of Boeing 747s are required to take refresher courses 4 times annually.
Flying a B747 is an accomplishment most of us Philippine Airlines pilots aspire to. It took me nearly 20 years of hard work and continuous training to become a 747 pilot. It's actually much more than I had hoped to achieve. A captain doesn't make decisions all by himself. I take the consensus of everyone involved in the flight.
Preparing for a flight involves much more than just boarding passengers. Flight plans based on prevailing weather conditions are prepared for each trip and given to the captain.
This is going to be a heavy day for you.
He, in turn, gives his crew a pre-flight briefing.
Don't forget me.
Simultaneously, load controllers balance the plane's load evenly for maximum safety and fuel economy. Then they inform the ramp for proper supervision of the loading of baggage and cargo. Likewise, drink and food trolleys are brought on board as the plane is refueled, and final checks are made. These diverse activities are coordinated by the Departure Control Center, which sees to it that each flight is ready to depart on schedule. In Manila, Philippine Airlines performs ground handling services for 26 foreign airlines.
I may be the one in command out there, but people on the ground monitor the progress of my flight constantly.
These people man the Operations Control Center, which keeps track of every domestic and international flight from departure to arrival 24 hours a day. The center can communicate with any Philippine Airlines station in the country and throughout the world. The airline's communication system is the largest in the country. All 70 airports to which Philippine Airlines flies are linked by an international network of computers, domestic satellite, Philippine Airlines landlines, microwave, and high-frequency radio.
Flying for Philippine Airlines has taken me all over the world, but the part of the flight I enjoy most is coming home.
I don't really think there's a difference between the training of mechanics then and now, except that now you have more sophisticated aircraft. But us mechanics have always been concerned with aircraft safety and airworthiness. That's very, very important.
While pilots may be the airline's frontliners, scores of other technical personnel work behind the scenes to ensure that planes are in top condition for each flight.
Safety and airworthiness of the aircraft is the primary concern of the maintenance and engineering personnel. And to ensure this, they have to undergo constant training, not only here, but also abroad.
Such attention to detail is crucial, since the technical reliability of an airline's equipment and facilities depends upon the quality of its maintenance. Philippine Airlines Maintenance and Engineering Department is staffed by some 2,200 highly skilled men and women who work in modern shops and with the latest equipment. This department performs all the maintenance work needed for Philippine Airlines fleet, including wide-body aircraft. As with pilots and cabin attendants, all mechanics, technicians, and engineers train before being hired. They must also take further training at regular phases of their careers. They become specialists in different aircraft types and the specific components of these planes.
A Philippine Airlines mechanic cannot afford to commit a mistake. He should always remember that valuable human lives depend on his skill. Therefore, aside from his training, he has to constantly refer to checklists and manuals.
And every piece of work done is carried out to the highest standards of quality, which in turn is subjected to rigid inspection to be considered complete. The department conforms strictly to all checks and overhauls mandated by civil air regulations. For civil aircraft, Philippine Airlines is certified by aeronautical authorities of the United States, United Kingdom, Ireland, and the Netherlands as a repair facility for aircraft registered in their respective countries. The heart and soul of Philippine Airlines aircraft maintenance is the Technical Center, a 1.5 billion peso facility which sprawls over 280,000 square meters of functional space. The centerpiece of the complex is a double hangar, whose floor area is around the size of 40 basketball courts. It can accommodate 4 wide-body jets, while its apron has enough space for 14 more aircraft. Nearby is an engine overhaul and test area, for the huge engines of the wide-bodied jets. It can accommodate engines of the future with twice as much power as those in use. The high level of skills in maintenance and engineering is supported by a network of computers that permit greater accuracy in the performance and supervision of various functions and operations. One of the many applications of these computers is keeping records of Type A components, such as engines, auxiliary power units, and landing gear. Autopilot analog and digital air data computers, which are vital to flight performance, are tested with a highly specialized computer known as the ATE, or Automatic Test Equipment. High-pressure turbine rotors are ground to required precision with computer-aided measuring machines. Computer-controlled lathe machines enable technicians to work with exacting precision and productivity. A computerized robot operates the plasma flame spray, which smooths out corroded portions of metal pieces. Turboprop engines are tested in the shaft test cell using the state-of-the-art dynamometers with a capacity of up to 5,000 horsepower. Data gathered by these equipment are not only precise, but up to date. And in the calibration shop, all test instruments, test sets, and measuring devices are periodically adjusted to the guidelines of the U.S. National Bureau of Standards. This guarantees their accuracy at all times. To further enhance the skills of its operations personnel, plans have been made to establish a Philippine Airlines Technical Training Center, which shall consolidate all training programs for the airline's maintenance and engineering staff, as well as flight deck and cabin crew. In Cebu, the airline's maintenance and engineering department adheres to the same high standards of technical efficiency in servicing aircraft that fly the Visayan and Mindanao routes.
Before, it only took us a short time to train, but safety and passenger comfort was our main concern. We were given first aid and emergency drills, and for emergency drills, we had to go to the actual aircraft to do the ditching.
I've been with the company for many years now, and I can say it's been a wonderful and satisfying experience. Of course, you have to undergo a lot of training before you can fly.
Philippine Airlines cabin crew are renowned for their charm, graciousness, and efficiency. But these qualities are developed through strict training at the Philippine Airlines Inflight Center. Here in aircraft mock-ups and classrooms, would-be flight attendants undergo months of instruction in courses that cover everything from passenger service to personality development and makeup routines.
But more importantly, we are drilled in safety and emergency procedures for the various types of aircraft.
Emergency, open seatbelt, get life vests, and all in place, evacuate. Exit here, shoes off, get out, please, life vests.
In case of any eventuality, we have to be able to swim in the open sea. Therefore, we are also taught the basic first aid and life-saving techniques.
Those who pass the grueling courses are first assigned to domestic flights. After they begin flying, they must take yearly refresher courses. And before moving from domestic to international services, they undergo qualification courses all over again.
The discipline is really constant. I guess that makes sense. If you represent Philippine Airlines in each flight, you'd always want to be at your best.
Apart from providing catering for Philippine Airlines flights, the Inflight Center Kitchen also serves 23 other airlines out of Manila. The center produces some 13,000 meals daily, consuming about 2,500 kilos of pork, beef, poultry, and seafoods, so that passengers can choose from a wide variety of delicious options while in flight. Here in a giant kitchen, 3 times bigger than that of most hotels. The best of vegetables and fruits are sorted out from hundreds of baskets. More than 240 kitchen helpers dice, chop, peel, and slice food simultaneously. And steaming pots and pans yield some of the most sumptuous dishes, designed to please even the most discriminating palate. Menus present the finest in international cuisine, as well as meals for children and vegetarian dishes. Specific low-salt meals may be requested ahead of time, while Filipino favorites like adobo and tapa make regular appearances. The In-Flight Center Kitchen also concocts a mouth-watering array of pralines, cakes, and ice creams. In recognition of the high standards of its in-flight cuisine, Philippine Airlines became the first Asian airline to be honored with the Grand Ore by Les Chaînes de Rôtisseurs, an international gourmet society.
Philippine Airlines, mabuhay, CJ speaking. May I help you? When do you intend to travel, ma'am?
Philippine Airlines reservations personnel around the world are specially trained to assist passengers with their booking and other flight-related requirements.
May I have your last name, please?
Philippine Airlines' participation with other major Asian airlines in the Abacus computerized reservation system enhances the speed and the range of services with which passengers are served.
Okay, have a nice day and thank you for calling Philippine Airlines.
Not only can a passenger make his flight reservations, he may also book his hotel, arrange car rentals, and sign up for package tours. These diverse functions are managed by the most extensive data processing facility in the country today, housed in the airline's data center building, which contains 4 IBM mainframe computers. An array of intelligent and fixed function terminals perform diverse services, from reservations to ticketing to check-in and flight monitoring. Computers also handle the airline's inventory management and aircraft technical records, as well as cargo reservations. The data center's 2 IBM 3090 computers have a combined processing power of over 20 million instructions per second. Its 2 IBM 4381 computers can transmit 6 million and 4.7 million instructions per second. To achieve this capability, Philippine Airlines has over the years invested millions of dollars on computer systems that provide a wide range of services to meet the ever-growing requirements of its global operations. The best of Philippine Airlines may be seen in the professionalism and dedication with which its personnel perform. This is constantly nurtured through the airline's Human Resources Development Program. Its Center for Continuing Education offers every employee courses which develop the competence and character needed to sustain the highest standard of excellence in service. Newly hired employees and those who are up for promotion must undergo further studies here. But care is taken that these people retain the unique traits of the Filipino. Charm, graciousness, friendliness. All these are vital to Philippine Airlines' renown as a world-class airline.
When you travel as frequently as I do, you'll want to do it in style. I travel first class for the skybed.
Being a Mabuhay Club member gets us priority bookings and preferential room rates.
And I love the food.
I tried Philippine Airlines Swing Around Beach Tour package. Had a great time.
I like being a junior jet setter.
In whatever airplanes they fly, and on whatever routes they travel, 10 hours between Manila and Honolulu, or 25 minutes between Cotabato and Malabang, passengers enjoy what Philippine Airlines calls total passenger care. Philippine Airlines in-flight service is highly rated. It begins with a warm welcome from the cabin crew. In-flight entertainment includes movies and a wide variety of music, from light classics and jazz to popular rock and traditional Filipino selections. With the airline's Junior Jet Setter program, children can enjoy a variety of activities, from coloring books to puzzles, and an occasional visit to the pilot in the cockpit. The airline also provides a convenient in-flight shop called the Fiesta Boutique, which offers liquor, perfumery, and other items. Frequent travelers enjoy a wide spectrum of privileges as members of the Mabuhay Club, Philippine Airlines' exclusive VIP travel club. Members may await their flights in the comfort of the Mabuhay Lounge in Manila and other key cities worldwide. In addition, they get priority in booking, check-in, and baggage handling. Frequent flyers have an additional advantage in the airline's PAL Smiles program, which offers such perks as free trips and hotel accommodations after passengers have accumulated a set number of mileage points on Philippine Airlines. First class on Philippine Airlines is the ultimate in flying in style. First-class passengers can stretch out comfortably on the sky bed, a real full-length bed which comes free with a first-class seat. And because the sky bed is certified for use during takeoffs and landings, one may actually sleep through the entire trip and get to his destination fully rested. For those planning a trip to the Philippines, the airline offers tourists a wide array of tour packages to choose from. Depending on one's vacation preferences, there are special interest tours for golfers, scuba diving enthusiasts, and beach lovers, as well as city tours. Philippine Airlines' credo is total passenger care. That means warm, gracious, in-flight service. So typically Filipino.
I'm very happy for them. And the Lord has given me that longer life to be able to celebrate this anniversary of Philippine Airlines.
With the airline for so long, I'm confident that Philippine Airlines will continue to progress and keep up with the best.
I practically grew up with Philippine Airlines during its good and rough times. And when you've been with a company for as long as I have, you'll realize that it's very hard to break this bond.
I am very proud to have belonged to Philippine Airlines. Especially for people like myself who are going on in years. Whenever we see a Philippine Airlines plane flying overhead, whether here or abroad, we always say, that is our plane. And may God keep it flying forever.
As it soars on to its next 50 years, Philippine Airlines will continue to share the destiny of the Filipino. One identity, one culture, and one spirit shining through.